You're lying in bed, lights off, phone glowing in the dark. You open your banking app. Just a quick check. The number loads. $5,014. And for a second, you just stare, because that number used to feel impossible. Not $100,000. Not $1 million. Just $5,000. $5,000 that isn't already promised to rent, groceries, or the credit card company. $5,000 that's just sitting there. Your emergency fund. You did it. You picture the moment you started this. Deleting food delivery apps. Skipping random Amazon purchases. Saying, maybe next month, to things that felt really tempting in the moment. And now it's real. $5,000. You feel responsible, disciplined, maybe even a little powerful. For the first time in a long time, life feels less fragile. Car breaks down? Okay. Unexpected bill? Not great, but survivable. You finally have a buffer. And for about 10 minutes, everything feels like a win. Then something interesting starts happening. Your brain changes. Suddenly, that $5,000 stops feeling like a shield and starts feeling like an opportunity. Maybe you should upgrade your phone. I mean, you have money now. Maybe a weekend trip. You deserve it. Maybe invest it in something exciting. Crypto. Options. That guaranteed passive income. Course someone on Instagram is selling. After all, what's the point of saving if you never use it? And right around the same time your brain starts whispering those ideas, the system starts whispering too. Your bank sends a notification. Pre-approved credit line. Your favorite shopping app suddenly offers you a limited time deal. Your car insurance renewal mysteriously goes up. Funny how that works. Because here's the catch nobody explains about the $5,000 emergency fund. Getting there feels like the finish line. But financially, it's actually the most dangerous moment. Because this is where most people accidentally destroy the safety net they just built. Not because they're irresponsible. Not because they're bad with money. But because the rules quietly change the moment you finally have some. And if you don't understand that shift, your first $5,000 disappears faster than it took to build it. Here's the trap. Most people treat the emergency fund like a milestone, like crossing a finish line. You worked hard. You got there. Mission accomplished. But financially, that thinking is like building the first floor of a house and then immediately removing the foundation because it looks boring. The $5,000 emergency fund isn't the reward. It's the stabilizer. Think of it like the safety bar on a roller coaster. Without it, every bump in life throws you out of the ride. And life is very good at creating bumps. The Federal Reserve runs surveys every year about household finances. One stat keeps showing up. Roughly 35 to 40% of adults say they couldn't cover a $400 emergency without borrowing money or selling something. Not $5,000. $400. Which means when life throws a surprise bill, most people fall straight into the debt trap. Credit cards, personal loans. Buy now, pay later. And here's the nasty part. Those systems are incredibly efficient. They turn a $400 problem into a $1,200 problem. They turn a $2,000 emergency into 5 years of payments. The system isn't broken. It's working exactly as designed. Because debt is profitable. Financial stability isn't. So when you finally build a $5,000 emergency fund, you're stepping out of the trap for the first time, which is exactly why the system starts trying to pull you back. More credit offers, more lifestyle upgrades, more you deserve it purchases. And if you fall for it, you're not alone. That's almost everyone right now. Most people build their first emergency fund, then slowly drain it on things that feel justified in the moment. A vacation, a new gadget, helping someone out, and suddenly the buffer is gone. And the next emergency sends them right back into the same cycle. That's the real problem. Not building the fund, protecting it. My name is Peter, and I'm obsessed with how money actually works. Not the motivational version. Not the just grind harder version. The real version, where psychology, incentives, and math quietly shape most financial outcomes. Quick disclaimer. This is education and entertainment only. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not your financial advisor. Talk to a licensed professional before making major financial decisions. What we're doing here is understanding the patterns behind money. Because once you see the patterns, you stop playing the game the way it was designed for you to lose. Let's talk about the two phases nobody explains. Phase 1 is a grind. This is the part everyone understands. You're building the first $5,000, cutting expenses, tracking spending, maybe picking up extra income. It feels hard because every dollar matters. Every decision is visible. But something interesting happens once the number is reached. Phase 2 begins. And this phase is psychological. Because scarcity is gone. You no longer feel fragile. You feel stable. And stability creates a new set of temptations. Your brain says, you survived. Now reward yourself. Which is logical. You worked hard. You delayed gratification. But the system loves this moment. Because stable people are the best customers. People with zero savings are risky borrowers. People with $5,000? Perfect. They qualify for better credit, better offers, higher limits, more temptation. Apps know you're financially stable. Banks know. Advertisers know. Suddenly you're surrounded by opportunities to optimize your money. High-risk investments, shiny financial products, luxury upgrades disguised as self-care. And none of these feel reckless. They feel earned. That's the psychological shift. Scarcity creates discipline. Comfort creates risk, which is why so many people build their first emergency fund and slowly leak it away. Not in one big mistake, but in 10 small, reasonable decisions. Dinner here, upgrade there, trip here, investment experiment there, until the safety net disappears. Now let's talk about the math. Because the math behind emergency funds is surprisingly boring, and boring is good. Let's say your $5,000 sits in a high-yield savings account earning 4%. After 1 year, about $200 in interest. Not exciting, but that's not the real value. The real value is preventing expensive mistakes. Imagine a $2,000 car repair. Without savings, it goes on a credit card at 20%. If it takes 3 years to pay off, you might pay roughly $600 to $700 in interest. That one emergency becomes a $2,700 event. Your emergency fund prevented that. That a 30 to 35% return. Not in gains, in losses avoided. This is why boring money wins. Vanguard has studied investor behavior for decades. One of their findings? The average investor underperforms the investments they buy by around 1 to 2% per year. Why? Bad timing, emotional decisions, chasing excitement. Meanwhile, the most successful long-term investors often do something incredibly dull. They automate, they diversify, they leave things alone, which means your emergency fund isn't supposed to be exciting. It's supposed to be boring, because boring money doesn't disappear. Let me show you what this looks like in real life. Alex hits $5,000 in savings. Huge moment. They feel proud, more secure, so they loosen up. Nothing crazy, just normal life upgrades. A new phone, weekend trip, helping a friend, investing $1,500 in something high potential. 3 months later, the emergency fund is down to $1,200. Then life does what life does. Car repair, medical bill. Alex ends up using a credit card. 6 months later, they're carrying debt again. Not because they were irresponsible, because the line between reward and erosion is very thin. Now meet Jordan. Jordan also hits $5,000. Same milestone, same excitement. But Jordan creates one rule. The emergency fund is untouchable. It's not money. It's infrastructure. Jordan builds a second layer for investing, a third layer for lifestyle upgrades. Emergency money stays frozen. 2 years later, Jordan has $5,000 in emergency savings, $9,000 invested, and zero high-interest debt. Same income, different rules. That's the difference. And studies show this pattern constantly. Households that maintain emergency savings are dramatically less likely to fall into persistent debt cycles, not because they earn more, because they have friction protecting their safety net. So what does the playbook actually look like? Simple, not easy, but simple. Step 1. Set the floor. Your first $5,000 is not spending money. It's structural stability. Think of it like the foundation of a building. You don't redecorate the foundation. You build on top of it. Step 2. Create the growth layer. Once the emergency fund is built, new savings go toward investing. Index funds, retirement accounts, long-term growth. This money is for the future. Step 3. Create the options layer. This is where lifestyle upgrades live. Trips, gadgets, experiments, fun, because money without enjoyment becomes miserable. But separating layers protects your safety net. Step 4. Be suspicious of sales, especially financial ones. The moment you become stable, you become a target. Better credit offers, investment opportunities, exclusive programs. Remember something important. If someone is aggressively selling a financial product, they are almost always the one getting rich first. Step 5. Respect boring. Boring money strategies win because they remove emotional mistakes, automation, consistency, time, not excitement, not prediction, just discipline. And here's the mindset shift most people miss. Money isn't about buying stuff. Money is about buying options. Options to leave a bad job. Options to handle emergencies without panic. Options to take opportunities when they appear. Your emergency fund is the first piece of that freedom, which means the real catch of the $5,000 rule is this. Most people treat it like a finish line, but the people who actually become financially stable treat it like a floor. Protect your first $5,000 like the floor of your life, not the finish line, because the moment that floor disappears, you're right back on the roller coaster, and the system is always ready for that ride.